Hello, and how are you doing? I am making sure that I'm recording well. Hopefully you can hear me all right. It's Leah here, and I am back to do the weekly read for the signs. It seems like you all like that way of doing the reading where I focused on the different signs or the different elements of the signs. Hopefully that was helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for this reading as well. Timestamp it again, and hopefully that will be good for you all. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into our reading. So our first sign that I'm going to start with, or the first element I'll start with, is always my element, air, of course, because I'm an Aquarius. So let's go ahead and see what's going on business-wise for Aquarius this week. So this is going to be from, what is it, the 19th? So this will be kind of like this week of the 20th coming up. What can we focus on? I'll do my 3-card read so that it's not a super long reading, but that's so you still have some good information. I'm using my Oshel Zen deck again because I just really love that deck. And I probably will do pull an oracle card at the end for everyone. So let's see what's going on for the air signs this week. Business-wise, what can we focus on? What can we pay attention to? Let's see. All right. What is the gift of this week? Like, what is really going to be sticking out this week for us? How can we help the situation? What do we need to pay attention to so that we can not cause ourselves major stress in the situation? Okay, so in terms of what this week is about, there is an opportunity for us to grow. There's an opportunity for us to really take something and let it flourish. This is a flowering card. It is the Pentacles. It's the Queen of Pentacles in this particular deck, the Queen of Rainbows. So this is all about, like, and I love the image of her in this particular deck because it's so much about growth. It's so much about there's the opportunity to flower some seeds, to water some seeds, and actually see them start to like pop up through the surface, you know, through the dirt. And that especially when you've been working on something for a really long time, it's awesome to be able to see some things grow. Now, what we want to make sure that we do not do in this next like week is allow ourselves to be overcome by the stress. There is going to be some stress with this because this is in the how we can help ourselves. There is going to be some stress with, you know, kind of seeing this thing come about, like, because this is an active card. This is a card because Pentacles is work. It's action. So this is a card of like, yes, you got to put a little work into, you know, kind of getting these seeds to start to pop up through the surface. But don't let the stress get to you. Don't let it just like totally bum you out and make you not want to keep it moving. This is the 7 of Wands. The 7 of Wands is it's a card of 7, like, so all of your odd cards are cards of like, you know, movement, like they think things have to push through, and your 7 of Wands is a card of like, I gotta just push a little bit harder. Like it's more conflict, you know. And this is no longer external conflict. This is kind of internal conflict. So it's really important for you to really not let your, like, you see that little monkey there? You see that little monkey that's like, I'm gonna bust the bubble. You're doing all this extra work, and I'm gonna bust this bubble. It's like, don't even pay attention to that monkey. Don't give that monkey any power. That monkey will only bust that bubble. Will only bust that balloon if you give it attention. It will only bust it if you give it attention. So don't give it any attention. Just feel like, whatever, I got this. I'm good. Even if you bust my bubble, I'm just gonna levitate. I'm gonna float. So I'm not even worried about you. So that's what this card is asking you to do. The thing that this card in terms of what to pay attention to, so what basically, like, this is how you're helping yourself. This is how you're hindering yourself. So don't get caught up in it having to be so big, it having to be so monumental. This is something for myself that, especially since this is an air sign reading, that makes a lot of sense for me. So I'll explain it from a personal perspective. Sometimes you can get so caught up in it having to be like you having to know exactly where it's going and what it's going to be. And for it's almost like you're looking for the future validation of it. And so if you don't have the future validation of it, you just won't keep pushing forward. And there's gonna be some stress, but there's definitely some growth, some beautiful growth that's possible with this thing that's happening for you right now. But you can't let yourself get caught up in trying to guess in the future, like is it like what's going to happen in the future. You can't let yourself get caught up in trying to see the truth of it. So Beyond Illusion is all about trying to see the truth of something, and it's a very heady card, because if you look at this, it's like a crown, or not crown chakra, but it's like a six chakra kind of third eye kind of card, where it's like boom, you have the vision. And right now this reading is saying like the vision might not really like pan out for you right at this moment, but that's okay. It doesn't have to. There's still benefit in your intuition that's telling you focus on this. There's something to grow. So I hope that makes sense for my air signs. Let's cross fingers that it does. And let's move on to the earth signs. All right, earth signs at 6:14. I've got to remember these timestamps. Okay, so earth babies, what is going on for us business-wise? Well, for earth babies, business-wise, in this next week, this week of the 20th. Let's see. Okay, so for the earth folks, this is like Virgo. What are the earth signs? Capricorn, Taurus. What's going on with the earth babies? Same spread. What is the gift? What can we do to help? How can we make sure we don't hinder? Okay, so you got some earth babies, you got some decisions to make. You've got something business-wise that's going on for you that you've got to really think through. You really need to think through this. You really need to like shut down like the outside voices, like people giving you their opinions, people trying to sway you this way or that way. This is an emotional card, so this is the Four of Cups. So this has to do with like you really having to kind of, this card is advising you to pull back, pay attention, really make your decision from a settled place, from an action place, as opposed to a reaction place. So there is something that's heavy on your mind right now. If you don't know what it is, it will show up where it's kind of like where you feel like, okay, I could make a snap judgment here, but I'm not going to. So this card is absolutely telling you to kind of pull back and allow yourself to make a decision. This is a settled place. This is a place where it's like it's a 4, so you have the kind of okay from the universe to like just chill on it, just wait on it, just, you know, don't make a snap decision. What is helping you? So the flowering card comes up for you here, as it came up for the air babies. So here you actually have the I'll say it like this, like your mind in terms of what could, like what you're extrapolating could happen, is very active, and it's very, very much on point in terms of like what could come out of this, what could grow from this. Like, and this is about action steps, because this is the Pentacles. So this is about like actual like action steps that you could take to get to where you want to go, like to move you past this place of like settled energy into this place of like growing energy, and not just movement energy, but like, you know, like concrete growth. So go ahead and let yourself do that. Like in this kind of meditative period, go ahead and let yourself extrapolate, let yourself do some planning. And this is all mental right now because this is like your settled space, but let yourself do some planning. Let yourself think about like what could actually happen that is actually positive, and let it be what you would want to create if it was just your decision, because that's going to be really important. Because right here, this is saying there's a whole bunch of people talking, and a whole bunch of, and it might not even be actual people talking, but just other people's opinions, you know, like, you know, the other voices in your head that are trying to tell you what to do, even your ego's voice, as opposed to like your own, you know, concrete solid voice. So this is telling you, spend time finding your actual voice, and then let your voice kind of grow. Let your voice kind of grow and extrapolate into what you could do. So this is what you don't want to do. This is what you want to make sure that you don't kind of catch yourself in. And what this card is, this is the silence card. Um, this is the moon card in other decks. Basically, this card is like getting yourself so caught up in the worries. And again, it's almost the same as in the Aquarius's reading or the air signs reading, where it was like getting yourself caught up in the what ifs and I don't know, and I'm not sure, and I gotta make the right decision, and there's stuff that I don't know yet, so I can't move forward because there are things that I don't know yet. This card is telling you like, don't get yourself stuck. Don't get yourself stuck in that. This is not the week for that. This is not the week for worst case scenario thinking. This is the week for like best case. If everything was awesome and amazing and I was like in being my best self, how would I let things grow? So that's what this week is for. So make sure that you don't get yourself stuck in the what ifs and the worries. Okay, so that's what this card is telling you to do. All right, so we're gonna move on, and hopefully this is recording well. My fingers are crossed. My lights are all on, so I think it's recording well. So fingers crossed. So now we are moving on to our fire signs. Yay, fire signs at 11:20. So the readings are kind of staying about 5 minutes or so. So that's good. So fire signs, what's up with you, fire signs? Business this week. What's going on business-wise for our fire signs this week? What's going on? What is the issue? What to do? What not to do? Let's see. I'm going to pause us and we'll come back. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. So we are with fire signs and what's going on business-wise for you. What is the gift of this week coming up for you? So for fire signs, we've got what the crux of this is, how you're helping yourself, how you're hindering yourself, or what to kind of pay attention to so that you don't hinder yourself. So what this is telling me moment to moment, this is the suit of rainbows, which is the pentacles. So this is telling me that you're at a place where you're just not really sure kind of where things are going. Like you are it almost feels like a standstill. You're almost like at a place of stagnation where you're just like, okay, I don't see a way out of this. All I know is that I got to keep putting like one foot in front of the other. So this seems to be like a place where it's really kind of like there's a lot of lack of clarity and uncertainty around what's going on with you business-wise this next week. Now, what's helping you, though, is really approaching things from a very mature place, really kind of stepping into your most adult self, your most highest self, and really kind of thinking about, okay, what would I almost am getting the like, oh, what would Jesus do? But kind of like, what would my most mature self do? And that's the choice that I'm going to make. This is the king of, well, I consider it's the ace of pentacles, but I kind of consider it the king of pentacles also, because this is the card of, pentacles has to do with like the suite of tangibility of all of your security, your sense of like what is actually going to give me a full, complete sense of balance in my life, both mentally and physically, like in the physical realm. And of course, that kind of like to create that balance in the physical realm, you actually have to also be balanced in the emotional and mental realm also, right? So that's why this is the card of maturity, because it's really asking you to think very holistically about the solution to this kind of space that you're in, right? So this is the 2. It's kind of like kind of moving forward a little bit, trying to balance things, trying to like just like you're kind of in a fog, but you're trying to kind of stay balanced within that fog. And this is telling you that the way out of that is to approach things in the most mature way. The thing to make sure that you don't do, the understanding card. So this card to me kind of shows up it kind of gives me a dual feeling here. So usually this card means to, this is a suit of cups, which is emotions. So usually this card means to me, like, don't limit yourself. Don't keep yourself in a place of like where you're refusing to understand, you're refusing to kind of like, this is a card of like spreading your wings. You're refusing to spread your wings. You're refusing to move forward because of like emotional attachments, because of just fears, right? Because that's emotions. Your fears are emotion based in most cases. So this is saying like, don't hold yourself back. But then also, so this card speaks to that in this position, like don't hold yourself back because of fears, but it's also speaking to don't um don't fly off into like, don't not be mature in your assessment of what's happening. So don't just go with other people's prodding, because this card is generally a card of prodding, right? There's other people that are out here that are saying like, hey, come on, you can do this. Come on, you can do this. You can be this, this fly freeing, free bird out here with us. Come out here with us. And so this card is, and so generally that's what this card is saying, like, oh, like, let your wings, fly, like you're no longer the caged bird. But in this position, this card is also speaking to the fact that not everybody knows your situation. Not everybody knows everything that's going on. So don't just let yourself be prodded by other people's prompting, because they might not actually know exactly what's going on with you. And so they might be speaking from an uneducated place. And so it's really important, again, to just act in the I keep getting the feeling of the highest way that you can, like your highest self, your most mature, balanced, complete, holistic self. Act in that way, as opposed to allowing yourself to be kind of moved and pushed by other people, because right now there is this sense of not really knowing what to do next and just kind of like taking the next step. So it could be really easy to allow other people to kind of like, think for you. And this card is saying like, don't let other people think for you. We are going to get through these readings. Mercury retrograde is over. Mercury is going direct. So I am no longer allowing this stuff to jack me up. All right. Okay, finally to the last reading. The last reading for the water signs. Yay for water signs. Okay, so what's going on with the water signs? Let's see. And then, oh, friendliness popped up. So what's going on with the water signs? And this is all business related. And how can they help themselves? What do they need to pay attention to? Okay, so water signs, business. Let's see. All right, what's going on? How can you help? How can you keep from, what do you need to pay attention to? Okay, so slowing down is what this has to do with. How are you helping yourself, or how can you help yourself? And what do you need to stop doing, or how are you hindering yourself? Okay, so this card here, the slowing down card, this card, all of our readings, there's been all these pentacles. So this is really interesting. It feels like it's a period. Like I feel like we were in a period right before the eclipse, and Mercury retrograde, and all of the energy was like this period of like all this emotional stuff and all this like passion stuff. And so now we're actually getting to like tangibility, because all of these, everyone's reading has a bunch of pentacles in it. So the pentacles are all about our security and tangibility, right? So this is the slowing down card. This is the to me, this is the prince. This is the prince of the suite of rainbows, which is the suite of pentacles. So this right here says to me that you are realizing right now, and if it hasn't happened right now, you're realizing right now that there is some project that you need to pull your energy back on, and that you really need to kind of go a slow and steady way, as opposed to feeling like you have to rush forward and rush really fast through it. There seems to be this feeling, or this I won't even say this feeling, like this, you have realized, and this might even be subconsciously, that you might be missing things in your kind of rush fast forward. So instead of doing that, this card is saying, hey, it's actually a better idea to move in a more slow, kind of methodical pace and really be able to capture everything that's happening. And this is really cool. Again, this is being in the suit of Pentacles, like that. Obviously, that makes sense because we're talking about business reading. So suit of Pentacles has a lot to do with like your business endeavors as well. But it's really important for you to move kind of slowly through this action that's coming up, like through, like really kind of move slowly through this project that you're developing, this project that you're in the middle of right now, right? Now, what's helping you is the intensity. So I do see that there is passion here. Like you are really, really like very, very excited about this thing that's happening. Super excited. This is the Prince of or the, well, yeah, you can think this is the Prince of Wands. So this is the suit of passion, the suit of like what actually drives your ability to like execute business and to even like go and become an entrepreneur at all. So this is saying that like that intensity is actually definitely helping you, because it's helping you to uncover the places that you might have missed things, to kind of to keep that drive. So there's like kind of like this duality here. There's like, okay, yeah, you do need to kind of like slow down a little bit and like slow down and focus. And so this might usually seem like these are opposites, but it's saying like use that intensity that would not, like that would normally kind of drive you forward into like making really like snap decisions and things like that. Use that intensity instead to like see the holes, like see the full picture, to like, you know, really fill in all the blanks, like really make things really, really complete, so that as you move forward, they are all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, that kind of energy. So yay, good for that. Now, okay, so it's interesting because like now in terms of what not to do, it's another intensity card, right? It's the 9, it's the exhaustion, it's the 9 of Wands, it's the 9 of passion, of fire. It's like it's burning the candle at both ends. And so I really get this feeling in this reading for the water signs that whatever this project you've been you're involved in right now, like you were really trying to like bulldoze through it. And this reading is saying that in this week, don't lose that intensity. Don't lose that intensity, but like pull back off of the need to like bulldoze through it, because you are like absolutely at the, you're almost at burnout, right? You're almost there. That's what this card says. This card is the burnout card. This card is like, I just don't know if I have it in me, you know. And when this card is in a positive position, or when it's in a position of what to do, it's like, okay, just push a little bit harder. But when this card is in the position of what, you know, what to kind of like, what's hindering you or what's pulling you back, this card is saying like, yo, you are almost at burnout, and it is not a positive thing. You need to give yourself time to rest. You need to give yourself time to think about other things, to focus on other things, to just allow other things in your life to be just as important. Really focus on that instead of like spending all of your energy and your time to like push this thing forward. Let this thing kind of pull back from it a little bit. Let the intensity stay in the sense of like intensely looking through things, but don't just let yourself stay in like this full hilt, like everything push forward type of energy, because that actually is hurting you right now. So I hope these readings have been helpful. We are finally at the end. I got everybody's reading done. Let's hopefully, all my lights are on. I think this light is on. Yay! That means that I'm recording well, and hopefully you all have been able to hear your readings. I'm going to splice these videos together because I said that I was going to do this as one full video. I don't have my oracle cards here with me, so I will have to do an oracle reading. Maybe I'll just do a separate one and post it separately. But let me know if you have any questions at all. You can always reach out to me for a personal reading at my website, which is leahpatterson.com/empowerment readings. I think there's like a dash in there, but I will make sure I put that in the description. And I think that is it, everyone. I hope you have a great week. Thank you so much for all of the positive feedback, and please like, please subscribe. That really helps. That keeps this endeavor going for me. This is my fun little personal passion project, so I am really glad that you all are enjoying it as well. All right, have a great week, and I am sure I will see you soon.